Your diesel engine becomes hard to start, blows smoke, shakes at idle, loses power, or takes forever to start on cold mornings. Now you are wondering, are the glow plugs failing, or is a bad diesel injector causing the problem? This is where many diesel owners waste money. A bad glow plug can make the engine hard to start and smoke when cold, but a bad injector can also cause smoke, rough running, hard starting, and power loss. The difference is usually when the problem happens, what color the smoke is, how the engine runs after warming up, and what codes are stored. So in this video, I'll show you the signs of bad glow plugs, the signs of bad diesel injectors, how to tell the difference, what codes to look for, and what to check before replacing parts. First, let's look at what each of them does. The glow plugs are small heating elements used in diesel engines to help with cold starts. Unlike gasoline engines, diesel engines do not use spark plugs to ignite the fuel. Instead, they rely on compression heat. And when the engine is cold, especially in cold weather, the combustion chamber may not be hot enough for smooth starting. That is where glow plugs help. They heat the cylinder area so the diesel fuel can burn more easily during startup. When glow plugs are working properly, the engine starts faster, runs smoother for the first few moments, and produces less smoke during cold starts. But if the glow plugs, relay, control module, fuse, wiring, or battery system has a problem, the engine may crank too long, start rough, or blow white smoke before it warms up. And diesel injectors, on the other hand, spray fuel into the cylinders at the correct pressure, timing, and spray pattern. If the injector spray is correct, the engine runs smoothly, makes good power, and burns fuel efficiently. But if an injector is clogged, leaking, sticking, overfueling, underfueling, or has too much return flow, the engine may run rough, smoke, knock, misfire, lose power, or even dilute the engine oil with diesel fuel. So the injector controls also how cleanly and evenly the engine burns fuel. Signs of bad glow plugs. One of the most common signs of bad glow plugs is hard starting when the engine is cold. The engine may crank longer than normal before starting, especially first thing in the morning. In colder weather, it may struggle badly or fail to start. Another common symptom is white smoke during startup. This happens because the cold cylinder is not burning the fuel properly. The key clue is that the smoke often clears as the engine warms up. Rough idle after startup is another warning sign. The engine may shake, vibrate, or sound uneven for the first few seconds or minutes. But once the engine warms up, it may run normally. You may also see a glow plug warning light. If the glow plug light stays on, flashes, or comes on with a check engine light, the glow plug system should be scanned. Common glow plug related codes include P0380, P0670, and P0671 to P0678. Codes from P0671 to P0678 often point to a specific cylinder glow plug circuit. Failed glow plugs can also stress the battery and starter because the engine has to crank longer before starting. Also remember that a weak battery or slow cranking speed can also make a diesel hard to start, even when the glow plugs are good. Signs of bad diesel injectors. One major sign is a rough idle that does not go away. The engine may shake, stumble, or feel uneven, whether it is cold or warm. Another strong sign is black smoke, especially during acceleration. Black smoke usually means too much fuel, not enough air, poor injector spray, turbo or boost problems, EGR issues, or a dirty air filter. But if it comes with rough running, fuel smell, knocking, or poor power, injectors should be checked. Poor acceleration and loss of power are also common. The vehicle may feel weak when climbing hills, towing, or accelerating hard. A faulty injector can also cause a diesel knock or ticking sound. This happens when fuel is sprayed at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, or with a poor spray pattern. Fuel smell or wetness around the injector is another clue. Leaking injector seals, fuel return lines, or injector bodies can cause a strong diesel smell or visible wet areas. In serious cases, a bad injector can cause misfires, stalling, limp mode, hard starting hot or cold, or excessive fuel return that prevents proper rail pressure. Common injector or fuel system codes include P0201 to P0208, P0263 to P0278, P0300 to P0308, P0087, P0088, and P0191. Also check the oil level. If the oil level is rising or the oil smells like diesel, a leaking injector may be allowing fuel into the oil, and that should not be ignored. How to tell the difference. So if the diesel is hard to start only when cold, blows white smoke at startup, runs rough for a short time, and then improves after warming up, start with the glow plug system. If the engine runs rough, cold, and warm, smokes during acceleration, smells like diesel, loses power, knocks, misfires, or goes into limp mode, suspect injectors, fuel pressure, air supply, or fuel delivery problems. Smoke color can help, but do not use it alone. White smoke that appears only during cold startup and clears after warm-up often points to cold combustion, which can come from bad glow plugs. But white smoke that continues after warm-up can point to injector problems, low compression, coolant entering the cylinder, poor fuel atomization, or timing issues. Black smoke under acceleration usually points to overfueling or lack of air. That may involve injectors, turbo boost, EGR problems, air restriction, or sensor issues. So do not replace parts based on smoke alone. Use the smoke, timing, codes, and engine behavior together. Before you replace anything, do these checks first. 1. Scan the vehicle before clearing codes. If you see P0380, P0670, or P0671 to P0678, start with the glow plug circuit, control module, relay, fuse, wiring, or individual glow plugs. If you see P0201 to P0208, check injector circuits. If you see P0263 to P0278, look at cylinder contribution or balance. If you see P0087, P0088, or P0191, check fuel rail pressure, fuel supply, and pressure sensor data. Step 2. Pay attention to when the problem happens. Cold start only problems point more toward glow plugs, battery, cranking speed, or compression. Rough running after warm-up points more toward injectors, fuel pressure, air supply, or mechanical problems. Step 3. Check the battery and cranking speed. Diesel engines need strong cranking speed. A weak battery, bad terminals, poor grounds, or weak starter can make a good glow plug system look bad. Step 4. Test the glow plug system. Do not replace glow plugs blindly. Test the plugs with a multimeter or scanner, then check whether power is reaching them. A bad relay, blown fuse, failed control module, or damaged wiring can stop good glow plugs from heating. Step 5. Check the fuel filter and fuel quality. A clogged fuel filter, water and diesel, contaminated fuel, or air entering the fuel system can create symptoms that look like injector failure. Step 6. Check injector performance. For injectors, a mechanic may run an injector balance test, cylinder contribution test, leak back test, return flow test, and fuel rail pressure test. These tests help show whether one injector is clogged, leaking, overfueling, underfueling, or returning too much fuel. Step 7. Check air supply. Black smoke is not always injectors. Check the air filter, turbo boost, intercooler hoses, boost leaks, EGR system, and mass airflow sensor if the vehicle has one. How to fix bad glow plugs. If diagnosis points to the glow plug system, start with the electrical side. Check the fuse, relay, control module, wiring, connectors, and power supply. If only one cylinder has a glow plug circuit code, test that plug and its wiring. If the glow plug itself has failed, replace it with the correct part. Be careful during removal because glow plugs can seize or break in the cylinder head, especially on older engines. If several glow plugs are old, it may make sense to replace the full set, depending on the engine and mileage. After replacement, clear the codes and test the vehicle again during a cold start, not just when the engine is already warm. How to fix bad diesel injectors. If diagnosis points to the injectors, start with the basics before replacing expensive parts. Replace the fuel filter if it is overdue, check for contaminated fuel, and make sure the fuel system has no air leaks. If an injector is dirty but not damaged, professional injector cleaning may help. But if an injector is leaking, stuck, electrically faulty, has excessive return flow, or causes a cylinder balance problem, it may need replacement. If injector seals are leaking, replace the seals and correct any carbon buildup around the injector seat. On many modern diesels, replacement injectors may need coding, calibration, or relearning with a scan tool. Do not skip this step if your vehicle requires it. If diesel has entered the engine oil, change the oil and filter after the injector repair because fuel diluted oil can damage bearings and internal engine parts. If this video helped, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also watch my next video on bad fuel injector versus bad fuel pump symptoms so you can narrow down the real fuel system problem.